What's up, YouTube? What's up, Twitch? What's up, Xtreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck. This is Xtreme Gainz. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Today is Monday, September 5th. Labor Day markets are closed. This is a little special I decided to do in lieu of the weekly update and prep. Since we have no market open and it is a holiday weekend, I thought, what the hell, let's do a quick weekly update and prep live stream with y'all. We'll get together, say hello, see how everybody's doing, go over some things. So happy Labor Day to everybody. I hope y'all had a good weekend so far, and I hope you continue to have one here today and get to enjoy your day. We won't be here too long. Just gonna go over everything and hang out for an hour with y'all. I think we'll be on about an hour total. So what's up? How's everybody doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Who do we got on YouTube? Let's see. Good morning, Nick. You're welcome, brother. Thank you, man. Good morning, Annie. Good morning, Buddha. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, David. Good morning, Diamond. Good morning, Mrs. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Hate Me. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Doc. Good morning, Kaiser. Good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Only. What is going on? Good morning, KP. Good morning, Doge. Good morning, David. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the support, my friend. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Tendies. Good morning, Box Tops. Good morning, Stowe. Good morning, Susie. How y'all doing? What's happening? Good morning, Sample. Sample. That's funny. Of course, guys. I appreciate you coming by, man. Appreciate y'all coming by. I just figured it'd be easier to do this. I wanted to try something different. Holiday weekend, we're all sitting around. Well, if you're like me, I worked a little bit today and then a little bit yesterday, but I had to do this one way or the other, and I thought, you know what? Let's just do a quick live stream. We'll all get on together, and then it'll be up like a normal video to be able to review or view for those who don't make it here, but what the hell? What's up, Didge? Good morning. Good morning, Damon. Where's the other two? That's funny. That's funny. Everybody have a good weekend so far? Anybody hungover today? Any hands up in the chat? Hungover people today? I'm not. I'm just saying. Anybody in the chat hungover today? Drink too much yesterday? Picnicking or whatever it was you were doing? Yeah, pretty much, Rob. Pretty much. What's up, Craves? I did, yeah, Sample. Yeah, I went yesterday. That's when I got done in Discord yesterday. I headed out and went out from like, I don't know, 3 yesterday afternoon. I think I left my house around 2:30, and then I got back around 8 or 9 last night. One work day this week, then on vacation. Let's go. Vacation, baby. Rob, Crave, hungover. Well, I appreciate you guys coming by, man. I'll try not to talk at my normal crazy volume and fuck that. I talk loud. Cool. Well, hey, listen. I'm going to go ahead and attack this kind of like a normal update and prep video for the first portion of it. That way, viewers that are coming by to check this out that are not part of the live stream later tonight, the meat and potatoes are right at the beginning, and then if we have time at the end, we can mess around, do some Q&A. I'm gonna do about an hour here with you guys, so we'll hang out for about an hour, but I want to go ahead and get all the meat, potatoes, at the beginning here, so I'm just going to kind of go through my normal spiel for the update and prep videos, and then we can mess around after that. So I am going to turn the music down a little bit so I can think. All right, so Friday was a crazy day. Like I said, today is Monday, September 5th, and today is Labor Day. Friday's market was crazy volatility. You can see here on AMC on the 1 hour, the crazy volatility that we had intraday there, as well as SPY. This is the 4 hour on SPY. You can still see the volatility there. I did post up on Friday on Twitch the micro intraday snakes. They were dead on Friday as well. As a matter of fact, let me pull that up for you real quick so you can see that. Here was Friday's micro intraday snakes on both AMC on the left, SPY on the right. They were absolutely bonkers dead on. We had one mirror here that I used my normal snake and then my counter snake for SPY to go ahead and project this mirroring that happened. It was essentially a level change, but nonetheless, I had it marked out, ready to go. And then SPY here was absolutely dead on. There was no movement needed, no counter snake needed for mirrorings. It was one piece, one placement, and 100% fulfillment on both of them. So a dead on day from that perspective with the micro intraday snakes. My scalp setups is on the 7 tickers that I set up every single day. They provided 10 entries from trigger. These are Friday lottos now, so obviously percentages are higher on those for the most part. I did have my highest ROI on Friday at 230%. The next one down was 175%, and then I had 275s, a 70, a 60, a 40, a 30, and a 20 to round out the list of 10. I did 3 separate W formation neckline break tutorials, live tutorials in the combined live stream with my premium Discord members and general Discord members. Those provided 3 net positive trades as well. One at 60%, one at 30%, and one at 25%. So it was an absolutely bonkers day, pretty much from every perspective. The Xtreme Gainz premium and general Discord, specifically premium, I spent the majority of the day with them, but even in the afternoon, general got some Xtreme Gainz at the end of the day. It was an unbelievable day for everybody, and I know a lot of y'all are here. Congratulations to all of you on those gains on Friday. Obviously, we always hope that everybody out here in the extended Xtreme Gainz family were able to do something similar and make some extreme gains for themselves. All right, moving on to the intra-week snakes and the macro comparatives. Currently on your screen is AMC. AMC finished the day on Friday up 3.5% and then down 1.01% in after hours, ending, my bad. I'm sorry, in after hours down 1.46% in after hours, ending the day trading at 875. Now the current intra-week snake that originally started with was the red one here. This was the day prior to the previous divergence, and we fulfilled that for the first 6 days. Now, normally in most cases, I would have clipped a new intra-week snake right there at the divergence to the downside. However, I projected that this could potentially mirror this exact snake and continue to fulfill it, and that is exactly what has happened. Now, I did clip the day of and the day prior to, and they are right here. I'll show them to you in a minute. If that were to have been the case back there at the divergence after the 6 days of fulfillment. Now, an intra-week snake typically does give somewhere, I want to see it give somewhere in that 5 to 7 days of fulfillment, typically at a minimum. But if it's going to continue to fulfill, whether it be in the straight up position or the mirrored position, I'm going to leave it be and let it continue to fulfill. But I'm going to keep these on the back burner here, and I do keep tracking them. It hasn't been anything that I've needed to present yet to anybody, whether it be even Discord, because this has continued to fulfill in the mirrored position 100%. So we had 6 days worth of fulfillment out of it in the straight up position. We diverted to the downside there last week on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, and leading up to Wednesday in Tuesday night's video, I talked about this exact replica in the mirrored position, so I went ahead and contrasted colors so it would be easy to see, and that is the blue snake that you see here. It's the exact same one as the intra-week that was fulfilling 6 days in the mirrored position, and lo and behold, we diverted. We breached the macro ascending level of support, which is the blue ascending line that's been in here that we have continued to respect throughout all of that trading previously, and we breached that and continued downside. And then, as you can see here, we have 100% continued to fulfill that intra-week snake all of Wednesday to the downside on the diversion. Thursday, the breach of the macro ascending level of support, and then the double bottom that it was projecting here has now fulfilled. So you can see what the projection is from that moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it in the mirrored position. Now, I do want to show you these. If this were to have been a divergence back here and I were to have clipped a new day of and day prior to intra-week snake back there, instead of allowing that to continue to fulfill in the mirrored position, this is what they'd look like. This is the day of divergence set right at the divergence here on Thursday, and then here is the day prior to with a 1 day overlap prior to the divergence. So there's the two of them moving forward, and I do want to take a look at the difference between those and what the mirrored intra-week snake is showing going into tomorrow and beyond. So you can see that the mirrored position of the previous intra-week snake, it does run with the day prior to, the red one here, for the first couple days of the week, and then we kind of split the two of them and converge back. So it's kind of a mix between the two of them, if you will. So I am going to keep an eye on that. They are a little bit nuanced from each other. All three of them are essentially eventually projecting the exact same thing moving forward here. We get this full-on what appears to be double-double, whether it be the blue, whether it be the red, or whether it be the ascending green, right? So obviously these will be the nuanced moves that I will be looking for to try to identify as early as possible to kind of lock in on potentially which one it is, if it's going to get nuanced like this throughout the continued fulfillment of it moving forward. But I did want you to see that because there is a little bit of a difference to them, but yet they are the same essentially if you look at it from a generalized perspective. So with that being said, everything I'm looking at right now for AMC going into this week, unless we find a pivot point. Now there's two potential pivot points. One will be the corners here, and one would be if this W formation that we're potentially in right now does come back down here, will be this initial corner here or this larger corner here. That will create a pivot point for a potential mirroring to the downside of these snakes. If that does not happen, everything I have for AMC from an intra-week perspective looks like some upside this week coming for AMC. So we'll see if we get that fulfillment out of it one way or the other. Moving on to the macro comparative or comparative for AMC. As you know, I've been using the previous double bottom from right next door, actually 2 doors down now. This one over here, I had clipped this and used this previous double bottom over here for the last 5 months of projection and fulfillment. We had a couple inverted mirrorings throughout that fulfillment, but it did give pretty much direct spot on fulfillment of that entire 5 months worth of price action, along with my macro box top schematic that's on here, projecting the tops and now projecting the bottoms. So what I've done is, on a hunch, when we started breaking down up here and I saw the potential box top neckline breakdown, or for those of you that aren't familiar with box top, the M formation neckline breakdown, when I saw that coming potentially, on a hunch and on an idea that that same double bottom may now, in a flipped manner, right? So like taking a book or two pieces of paper and flipping them on top of each other, could potentially start to fulfill itself in that manner, to then get this, again, macro recognition of the macro ascending level of support, and then this giant macro double before a move to the upside. So that's what that's showing. And since its placement, this thing has continued to fulfill its projection. Let me move the red out of here, the mirror out of here. From the peak, the breakdown, the checkup when the value of APE was removed from AMC, the continued downside fulfillment to the initial bottom, which appeared to mirror itself off of this ascending level of support bounce. And then prior to the breakdown that we saw here, when we started to mirror this, it did indicate to me that we were potentially mirroring this same macro comparative. And if that were to be the case, I wanted to get a mirrored replica of it up here. So once again, this is the mirrored replica of that macro comparative. I had put it on there at the mirroring here, and we continued to track this. And as you can see, we have gotten almost candle for candle fulfillment since the flip. The flip is bullish to bearish algos. They pushed it down through there, as you see, and mirrored this macro comparative in that manner. So instead of continuing this upside fulfillment, after it mirrored itself right here and fulfilled this upside downside projection bounce in an upside manner, it continued to fulfill itself in that mirrored manner. You can see the continued fulfillment up until Friday, with the move back to the upside for a retest of that macro ascending level of support again. And you can see what the projection is from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond, if price action were to continue to fulfill it in the mirrored position. The red is the downside. However, obviously, it could and can converge back with the straight up position of the macro comparative in this manner, and obviously that would take an upside move and a retaking of that macro ascending level of support. So from a breakout and breakdown level perspective on the macro, obviously the breakdown level will be down here at the 831, will be the level that will confirm that continued mirror fulfillment. And then I gotta come up here quite a bit higher for that macro converge fulfillment, and that will be at around $9.25. So $9.25 will be confirmation of the straight up convergence and fulfillment. 831 or 830 will be confirmation of the continuation of the mirrored position fulfillment. Then we got APE. APE finished the day on Friday up 8.28%, and then down 1.01% in after hours, ending the day and the week trading at 492. Now, the current intra-week snakes, this is an experimental snake, the blue one that I had clipped and marked back here, and marked where I was anticipating a potential divergence from that snake, to therefore clip a new day of and day prior to, green, day of, red, day prior to, intra-week snake moving forward, if it did not continue to fulfill the blue one, which lo and behold, on that day that I had marked, we diverted away from that intra-week snake that I had as a test run, and I clipped a new day of. Here's the day of. I placed it. There was the projection from it to the next interchange, and here is the fulfillment of it. We fulfilled it to the upside. This downside, we overshot from that. It looks like a potential either invert mirroring of that for converge back, or an actual full-on potential mirroring like so, to then see a continuation of fulfillment in the mirrored position. So obviously to the upside, it would have to converge back with it in the straight up position, and in the mirrored position you can see what the projection is from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond. Then the day prior to divergence is the red one here, and likewise I placed it, and there was the projection that fulfilled, and you can see what the projection is from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Obviously, if this were to mirror and we were to converge back with the straight up position back to the upside, something along these lines right here, or the green, the day of divergence to the upside, is what I would be looking at right here for the continued fulfillment of it. And GME, and by the way, Ape has been an experimental thing right now with the intra-week snakes until I can get a full-on interchanging of two of them. I'm waiting for that interchanging of two of them like that to give me that confirmation and confidence moving forward to use that method. So here is GME. GME finished the day on Friday down 0.98% and then up 0.15% in after hours, ending the week trading at 27.40. The current intra-week snake from GME is this blue one, and it had continued to fulfill itself in the straight up position, combined with now a mirrored fulfillment to the downside for around 6 weeks now. We have slightly I'm on the 1 hour, my bad. Need to be on the 4 hour. We have slightly diverted away from it a little bit here. So I have not clipped a new intra-week snake from it yet. Just in case I don't have the pull on this completed, like I guess extended to a further right and left pull, and I really don't have much room to do that, and I hate to keep chasing it out here like this with it. Here's my point of reference to make sure that I am not chasing this out and losing the integrity of the previous fulfillment. So I've essentially put it where I felt as far as I could go with it, right? And not lose that integrity of the previous fulfillment. So in that position, like I said, we started to divert away from it a little bit, but in this mirrored position, like I have had it framed in and marked down, we've seen and tracked and continue to fulfill. It would require a bounce to the upside for a continuation of fulfillment in the mirrored position. If it diverts from this in this position, then I do have to clip a new intra-week snake. Obviously at this point there is no converging back upside with the straight up position, since we've full on diverted to the downside in a mirrored manner. So if we divert from this fully, and I can confirm that diversion, and I don't think it's quite there yet, I will be clipping a new intra-week snake a day of and a day prior to, and I'll be tracking that with you guys and gals as well. But here, obviously, projection going into tomorrow and beyond is upside according to this and the position that it is currently in for continued fulfillment. However, the macro comparative that I have used from the previous double bottom right over here, I've used it in both the straight up and the mirrored position throughout all of this fulfillment. Just like AMC, the previous 5 months worth of fulfillment from one macro comparative. This one, however, has been used in both the straight up and the mirrored, just like AMC's had to be in certain places. And in its current position, which is the straight up position, not mirrored, not flipped, we have continued to fulfill itself almost candle for candle since the breach of the macro ascending level of support, or the previous one. And once we broke down, we continued to fulfill this. That was a pivot point for the current intra-week snake up here, where it was projecting a bounce up off of here. And now those are typically the pivot points for algos to switch bullish bearish, which is what results in these mirrored placements and mirrored fulfillments. So you can see what the projection is from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. A little bit different than the intra-week snake. If I pull the intra-week snake down here and back down here and we take a look at it right there, at most, very, very, very similar fulfillment or projection between the two of them. A little bit nuanced, and then we get a mirroring here moving forward, but they are essentially the same. So I guess to some extent, if the macro comparative fulfills itself to the downside here, to the larger macro ascending level of support, that is something that I may give it room for, according to the intra-week snake, where it's going to be off maybe what looks to be potentially by 2 days with that bottom. But definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. And like I said, if I get a full-on diversion from this, I'll just be clipping new ones, and if they are relevant, then I'll be going over them with you as well. So that's everything that I'm looking at with GME. Last but not least is SPY. SPY finished the day on Friday down 1.05%, currently up 0.16% in after hours, ending the week trading at 392.85. All right, now we got some shit to go over here with SPY. The current intra-week snakes that I have been using and tracking with SPY are the green, the day of divergence, the red, the day prior to divergence. The green, the day of, this has been the position of it and the continued fulfillment of that. However, on Friday, with that volatility, came what could be a potential macro W formation that happened down here. The neckline was put in, which was also projected by the lower macro third that I had in here for a rejection off of that, and price action turned right back around on a dime, right on that level as projected, and right back downside. So it does look like potentially, if we would receive a second bounce here, that we would have a full-on macro double bottom scenario setting up here for a move back upside. And that level would be our ascending level of support here, roughly. So according to this intra-week snake, the projection from it is very obvious. It is straight back upside. So we either bounce upside off that ascending level of support for a continued fulfillment of the day of divergence, or like I explained in previous videos, this is a pivot point for that long run. And I think it's worth checking out in the mirrored position. So if it were to fulfill itself in the mirrored position, instead of fulfilling that double bottom bounce there, this would be the projection from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond. Now these breakdown breakout levels go for any one of these intra-week snakes. I'll give them to you now. Any one of these intra-week snakes or the macro comparative from 0809. All right, so my breakdown level here for confirmation of mirrored fulfillment to the downside, or for macro comparative fulfillment to the downside, which you're going to see in a minute, is at 390.08 or 390. So 390 is my breakdown level, and 401.15 is my breakout level. So breakdown, breakout levels, and that goes for all these intra-week snakes. So that's day of divergence straight up and mirrored. And all of these, for the record, all of these come down to whether or not we put a bounce in off of the macro ascending level of support that we have continued to fulfill here. This would be the third confirmed, the third confirmed hit on it. So everything's going to come down to that, right? Breakdown level, breakout level. We either bounce off the ascending level of support and we continue to fulfill in the straight up position, or we fail, we break down and we start fulfilling either in the mirrored position or the macro comparative. So moving on, this is the day prior to intra-week snake. And there are two potential positions to look at this in outside of the mirrored, both of them being the mirrored position, but two slightly different nuanced positions. Here's the first one where we've overlapped it over the top at 428, 430 top, and we see we've had continued fulfillment from it in that position. So moving forward into tomorrow and beyond, likewise, you can see what the projection is from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it in this position. It does show some room for some consolidation here before an eventual move back upside, if it weren't to just put in a singular double bottom formation and go. Then the secondary position of this is slightly altered and nuanced. Where this is moved here, therefore indicating that the first portion of this would have been fulfilled in the straight up position like this, which is how we tracked it, if you remember. And then at this pivot point right here, it mirrored itself to the downside. So if that were the case, then I need to move that in the mirrored position, which we had, and then I have to move it down here to show that from that initial mirroring at the pivot point and what that projection may look like moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Likewise, same breakdown and breakout levels to the downside and to the upside. I also, for my box top people, I do have a reverse macro third sitting in here, and this position of that intra-week snake does indicate a breakdown of the breakdown level, and then what appears to be a double bottom formation right on the reverse third that I have in here in my box top schematic. Again, either break up, bounce, break out, or fail and break down. Then the macro comparative from the 08-09 correction and crash. We have been tracking this forever, it seems, on the channel. As a matter of fact, we've been tracking this ever since I started the channel. So here's the bird's eye view of that in its straight up position and the rough position of it. And you can see the continued fulfillment of it most recently. We had talked about this leading up to it, all of the double bottom that fulfilled here, and then the move up, the fulfillment of the macro third, and the descending level of resistance for that 428 top, which fulfilled itself in a head and shoulders kind of manner. And the placement of the macro comparative viewed as such. Oh, my bad. Right shoulder or left shoulder, head and neck, right shoulder. Placed on there. We've gotten continued fulfillment out of it. Now, let me emphasize this if there are any new people. This has never been, going clear back to December when I first started talking about this 08-09 replication of economy, macroeconomical situation happening, and it fulfilling itself in this way according to the chart back then. This is from then until now. It's never been a candle for candle fulfillment or projection. It has been a projected, suggested path, in my use of that has been to be able to zoom out on my second perspective of my macro time frame and use it as that, use it as a path that price action has followed. However, at times it has given candle for candle fulfillment out of the projection, and when it does, I'll gladly take it. So I don't want to get too granular about this, and I think last week I was getting a little too granular about it, and I needed to reel myself back in from doing so. So I want to emphasize that, but I want to take the approach that I have always taken with this, and that is having a generalized perspective of the macro movements, just meaning, is it following the path? Right? It does not have to be candle for candle, but as you see here, we have continued to follow the path as it's been projected. If I do get a little bit granular about it and I look for that bounce territory and the location of the macro comparative in this position, that's the only one that I see that could be relevant to where our current position or location within that schematic and comparative could be. That would put us right here. And obviously that projection is, now it could be one of two things, you know, as you see here, it's not just that little bit and right back down. So coming downside for a continuation to downside right now would be a little bit early regarding what the macro comparative is projecting, just like it did up here. This was showing some more consolidation and a W formation prior to the release, the rejection, release, and breakdown. And it did the exact fulfillment of that retest, rejection, release, and breakdown, but it did not put that second retest in. It hit it on the first one and sent it tumbling, right? So an early fulfillment of what it was projecting there. So likewise, it's kind of setting up the same way here, using that V-shaped bounce and retest. If I put it in there, it's not exactly candle for candle, and according to that, price action should have never come back downside yet. It should have stayed up here for what appears to be at least one more day of consolidation. So that's getting granular with something that I try not to get granular with. So I just want to point that out, that if this is the breakdown and it is an early breakdown, like it fulfilled itself above this, that is possible. And likewise, the same levels for breakdown and breakout will apply. However, I do think that it could still potentially come back up here for some consolidation and a retest prior to the rejection and release and continued fulfillment to downside if it were to do that as well. So regardless, breakdown, breakout, I don't know how many times I can say it, breakdown and breakout level are going to be super crucial. I'm using them this week as super crucial macro indicators for the continued fulfillment of either what I have to the downside projection or what I have for a bounce and an upside projection. So that is everything that I have that I am looking at with AMC, GME, Ape, and SPY moving into tomorrow and beyond. That way, if you are stopping by and watching the replay of this, there's the business. I appreciate y'all coming by. If you just are watching the replay and you didn't make it here to the live stream, if you want to hang out, we got about 30 minutes left. I'm going to do a little Q&A and hang out with everybody for about 30 minutes. So if you are watching the replay and you want to stick around for that, do so. If not, thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Make sure to smash the like button on the replay on your way out, and I'll get an update. Oh, as a matter of fact, yeah, I'll get an update and prep video out tomorrow night after market close, and I'll see you all that are watching the replay then. For the rest of y'all that are here live, that is everything I have for it, but and I'm opening it up. I'll open the floor up and we'll hang out, bullshit, Q&A, whatever you guys want to do. I got 30 minutes left. I can chill with you. What's up, dudes? What's up, Nan? What's up, you may call me? What's up, DZ? Yeah, yeah, right? All right, let me give a little volume back to the music now. Yeah, YouTube, if you have not smashed the like button, I'd appreciate it if you would. Thank you Thank you, Only, for suggesting that. You're welcome, Nick. Thank you, Michael. And yeah, let me tell you guys this too. So keep an eye on YouTube. I've noticed over the last 2 weekends, they have unsubscribed about 20 people each weekend separately. So keep an eye on that throughout. Michael just said he was unsubscribed from the channel. He's been watching me for a long time. Michael, thank you. Glad you're here, brother. But yeah, keep an eye on that. It looks like they're unsubscribing people from the channel every weekend. All right. What's up, Benjamin? You are welcome, Miss Isla. What's up, Empire? I didn't mean to pause that. Okay. Thank you, Axel. Thank you, Marv. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Michael. Aki. What do you see Chips doing this week? NVIDIA AMD. Here's a little sneak peek. I typically don't show these. These are more of a Discord thing, a premium Discord thing. I'll show my chart, but I typically don't show my macro comparatives. I'm running with 2 macro comparatives for AMD currently. One is a previous that has continued to fulfill in a couple different ways. I used it here previously for the run up, the move back to the downside, and then it appears that it mirrored perfectly, right? You can see the perfect mirrored the projection, the fulfillment, right? Perfect mirrored fulfillment of the projection, and it looks like a potential converge back with it here. If that's the case, you can see what the projection would be from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. It looks like, according to that macro comparative, a W formation and then a move up to the macro third right there. Then the second one that I have, well, let me do this. The second position would obviously to use this in the same manner that I used it for the previous move up. And once again, it's provided continuous fulfillment. And if that were to continue to fulfill, obviously different, we would get this confirmed, which we do have. Let me get this arrow out of here. We do have a breakdown of the macro ascending level of support right there. So I'd want to see a confirmation of that breakdown with a breach of with a breach of 78.90. 78.90 to the downside. So likewise, like SPY is framed in. Anytime, let me explain this real quick, just so you all know what I'm doing here. Anytime I have an M formation, what I call a box top, it can be an M, it can be a head and shoulders, it can be a triple top. Anytime I have that, or anytime you see that, there's always a neckline. Neckline, neckline, neckline. That neckline is where you have previous support. Support, 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 support. Which is where you want to see your breakdown confirmation right here. When it breaks that neckline to the downside. This is a semi-basic technical analysis approach at looking at these. So likewise with the W formations, W's have a neckline, inverted head and shoulders have a neckline, triple or quadruple bottoms have a neckline, right? And once you get confirmation of the neckline breaking out, that's something I've used and continue to use on a daily basis to make money. However, when viewing those on charts, a potential, I'm going to use just the M and the W for the sake of explaining this. What you're going to see on my charts are a neckline breakout level and a support breakdown level on a W. You're going to see this, and you're going to see a neckline breakdown level and a resistance breakout level. You're going to see this on all of my charts. I call this the framework, right? It's the neckline framework of a W formation and of an M formation. And that's what I use for my confirmation for upside movement and downside movement in those scenarios. So when I talk about having a breakdown and or breakout level on something like this, I'm identifying it, just like I am here, as a potential W formation forming, because we are in a downtrend, a macro downtrend. I have a previous level of support, a check up on the way down right here that I can draw across here. I have another one here. So that has given me a lower and an upper neckline and a potential W formation forming. So when I do that and I say that, that's what I'm referring to, and you're going to see that a lot on my charts. So likewise with AMD, the macro breakout level I'm looking at would be $84 even. And the macro breakdown level, like I said, that's $78.90 level to the downside. And then I use those as my trigger, and I like to see I have a rules-based entry system that I follow that I like to see a little more just than a crossover, because price action can either fake it to the downside and come back up, or vice versa on an M formation, real brief and come back down. So there is a confirmation fulfillment that I like to see on either side of those M formations and of those W formations. So that's the secondary position of that macro comparative. And then the third one that I have that price action has been following since April is this one. And here it would require that W formation and a bounce, unless this was going to create this as a pivot point and mirror this to the downside for then an eventual converge back with it somewhere down the road here. That's everything I have for AMD. And then NVIDIA, likewise, macro comparative. It's in a macro double potential upcoming double formation for a continuation to upside after fulfillment. But we are in a macro downtrend. The blue is the macro comparative that I've been using that has been fulfilling since November of last year. And there's the position of it, and it's suggesting a bounce from right around where it's at. Obviously, once again, with this being a straight run projected bounce back upside, that's a pivot point. Anytime you have a high or a low, these are pivot points for price action to mirror away from the projection. And that's what this is right here, a pivot point. So unless price action were to mirror itself to the downside away from this, the projection from it is potentially continued consolidation and then upside fulfillment, unless it were likewise to mirror itself to the downside for an eventual convergence back with it, and then a continuation of fulfillment moving forward. You mean with the macro comparative dig on SPY? So here, let me show you here's a cleaner view of this. This is ticker SPX with the 0809 macro comparative on it. And I can show you the SPY one too. But here's SPX. Let me zoom in and show you this. This is daily on daily from 0809. Daily on daily, macro comparative. And you can see here likewise, like I was showing you on SPY, if you get real granular with it, you're missing some fulfillment, right? But if you try not to be too granular with it and just look at it from the second perspective, you have two perspectives of every time frame. A zoomed in first perspective, real tight zoomed in, and then your second perspective is the zoomed out perspective. So if you look at it with a generalized perception and perspective from that number 2 position out here, you can see the continued fulfillment of it. If that were to continue to fulfill on SPX in that position, about 940, 950, which would be fucking crazy. On SPY, SPY 130. Which again would be just absolutely fucking crazy. If we want to be a little bit conservative with it, say 185, 190, and that's being conservative. Rumble, yeah, I thought about Rumble a while back. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. Rumble, you have to pay to have a Rumble account. You have to pay, it's like $1,000 a month to put out so much, because you pay for data packages on Rumble as a creator. So you have to pay Rumble so much to store and to provide so much data. And I think, I forget what it was, but it was like anywhere from $1,000 up per month. And I don't have enough views and I don't have enough subscribers to do something like that. I mean, literally my revenue on YouTube, I showed it on here last week. My YouTube revenue is like $128 for the last month. You know what I mean? That's why I was saying about how YouTube, you know, between the potential suppression that the channel is experiencing and has been for quite some time, and the lack of interaction from current viewers, I'm pinned. I can't do anything other than just continue to put out content. So, and just hope that I get a breakthrough at some point. You know what I mean? Yeah, I could never justify putting that kind of money out when when the direct return isn't even a what's that, a tenth of it. All right, what's up, Matt? I appreciate it, man. First time watcher, welcome. I appreciate it, brother. Stick around, man. Stick around. Oh, thanks, Mindful. I appreciate you, brother. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, enjoy your vacation, bro. Enjoy it. You deserve it, man. You've been working your ass off. You deserve it. Thank you, Miss Isla. Thank you, thank you, thank you. BBBY? Outside of the technicals and the charting? No. I don't. Go to? Yeah. Got you or go to? Barry would love to see this. I know. I know. I think I have a feeling that a lot of stuff that I do and that I'm aware of and that I've created and come up with, that he's very, very, very aware of. Uh-oh, smoked himself into a stupor. Yeah, I mean, prayers to the man's family, dude. It's a terrible situation. I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself on it. I don't want to speak. I don't think it's right to speak on somebody that's passed until, especially when there's an open investigation. I don't want to speak on that. I would feel as if, to some extent, I might be disrespecting, and not that I have a big following or anything, but just my self-conscious. I want to keep that to myself right now. What I can tell you is this: being a former law enforcement officer for many, many, many years, I can tell you that if I were there and I was a law enforcement officer or leading the investigation, lead investigator, I would definitely be looking a little deeper for a few different reasons, and I'll leave it at that. But and I think you guys and gals pretty much probably feel the same way, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep it to myself. But thank you. Appreciate it, Chuck. Got some burgers right. All right, Nan. Appreciate it, brother. I know they are, Dids. It's crazy. It's crazy. Thank you, Sample. Thank you, brother. Oh, good deal, Chris. You're welcome, brother. Good deal. Good deal, good deal. Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Spy, you know, if you take everything else off the table, Spy's at a critical, let me take that out. If you take everything off the table, Spy's at a critical point right now. Because it's sitting on this last, what I like to call a last resort support from a ascending level of support perspective. It's sitting right there. So it you know, it does in like any other day, right? I tell people all the time when they're like, oh, up or down, because they don't comprehend what it is that I do. Stocks go up and down every single day. That's the whole point, right? I make money off them both upside and downside. So I have breakout, breakdown levels. I make sure I have scenarios that fit either direction. So that way my mind goes initially to, I can identify movement and go to one, and then I got continued fulfillment. But regardless, we're sitting at that point right now. From a technical perspective, we're sitting right on it. We had a high upper neckline that we breached. Then the next one down was down here that I had mapped out. We checked support on it, breached it, never even came back for a retest, a half-ass retest attempt right here. And then we continued to break down. So we're in full-on breakdown mode right now. Spy is in a macro descending descending resistance, and it's in a descending channel essentially, but it's in a place right now where it's either fulfilling the bounce off of the already identified ascending level of support, or that breaches. That's the next spot for it to find support. If it doesn't find support there, it breaks down. The next spot from there, in my opinion, will be down here around the 383 level. And then from there, it just continued level to level. I always say that, level to level, day to day. But it's at a critical point right now from that perspective as well. You have the, as well, and it's a little bit, the levels are a little bit staggered from where I have right now. Just under where I put my breakdown level was the previous macro double neckline break to the upside. Here was the macro W formation over here, and the neckline right here for that breakout to the upside that I tracked with all of you. If you extend that over here, that previous resistance right here could now become what? Future support, right? So what we have kind of forming up over here is somewhat of a confluence of support. Now, it's not dead on to the cent, but you have the macro ascending level of support and a previous significant level of previous resistance that could now potentially become support. So this is the next stop for it. If it does not fulfill this bounce to the upside and then the eventual neckline break here for a continuation to upside in any manner, and that breaks, it's coming down, and it's going to continue coming down, in my opinion. Not financial advice, just my take and my opinion on spot. Oh, all right. All right, y'all. Well, we got 5 minutes left until I will end this live stream. Oh, shit. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, you picked up on it. Left and notice I didn't hit the like button, came back for it. Appreciate you. Thank you, Terrence. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're in here and you have not smashed the like button, please do so on your way out. I appreciate y'all coming by. I really do, man. I wanted to get it done early. I just thought I didn't want to wait. I was thinking about waiting until this evening to do it, and I thought, nah, I'm just gonna do it early. We'll get it out of the way, and then it's out and people can come back and rewatch it. I'm gonna have to do some timestamps so people know where to go check things out at. But yeah, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you coming back to hit the like button, dude. That's big ups, man. I appreciate it. Just want to say something to anyone out there that is thinking about joining Discord. I've been here for about 4 months, and the things I have learned is incredible. Making money every day. That's beautiful, Brian. Thank you for saying that, brother. Congratulations, man. You are very welcome, brother. I love you too, man. Happy Labor Day to you as well. What's happening, Pitt? You missed it. See how you are? No, I know. It's all good, brother. Discord rocks. Let's go, Axel. Hell yeah, brother. You too, Zed. Right back at you. Yeah, we're killing it day in and day out in there. Legit, no bullshit. Killing it every single day. Over multiple tickers. I mean, it's been unreal. The last 4 months in Discord have been completely unbelievable. I've never been a part of anything like it in my life, so super happy with it and with the result, and super happy for everybody as well. I've gotten to watch numerous members absolutely turn their lives completely around and change everything. So it's just been unbelievable. So hey, listen, good enough. I appreciate all of you for coming by. Thank you very much. For everybody that's liking and sharing and commenting, thank you all so much, both on Twitter and on the YouTube videos and comments and all of that. Yes, Annie, I still will be live on Wednesday. Yes, I will be live on Wednesday. Yes. So yeah, I appreciate all y'all very, very, very much. Like I said, if you haven't smashed the like on your way out, please do so. I'll get an update and preparation video out tomorrow night after market close, and then I'm planning on being live here on the YouTube channel and on the Twitch channel on Wednesday from 9 a.m. Eastern until market close. I appreciate that, Pitt. Thank you, brother. The market's closed, Pitt. I'm not leaving the live up. The market's closed. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Annie. Right back at you, Mindful. All right, y'all. Thank you. I love you. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. If I don't talk to you between now and then, if you're not in my Discord, good luck in the markets tomorrow. Make some extreme gains for yourselves, and I'll talk to you all on the next one. Take care. I'll talk to you all then.